All right, what's up, YouTube? I am going to be trying to start a new series here with the hopes of educating a lot of people in regards to misconceptions with tank community, tank enthusiasts. Everybody has their 2 cents. Nobody cares about people who actually operate the vehicles. So, I am a current active tank commander in the United States Army. I've been in for 8 years, and I'm hoping that my experiences might be able to clear up some of these misconceptions. So today we'll be reacting to a video in regards to the T-14 Armata. Apparently, it claims it's the best in the world. I have my own 2 cents about this one. We study it, for vehicle identification classes, and we don't really go into too much details, but we do know a little about a lot of things, if that makes any sense, as a whole. So, without further ado, let's get this video started.
Hello everyone, welcome back again to Military TV. Today I'm going to take you to see why the T-14 Armata is
Oh boy,
superior to other main battle tanks, MBTs.
this guy already sounds like he doesn't know what he's talking about, just with his tone of voice. Sounds like he's reading off a script.
Before watching this video, don't forget to leave your comment below if you have any suggestions or certain topics to discuss for the next videos. The Armata T-14 was first demonstrated during the Victory Day Parade in May 2015 in Moscow. The actual production of the tanks was delayed. The first 9 T-14 Armatas were originally planned to be handed over to the Russian Ground Forces (RGF) in 2018. This date then got pushed to 2019 and then to 2021.
I feel that, Russia. Whenever I try ordering parts for my tank, the delivery date usually says 3 years from now, and my contract expires in that time. I'm not even kidding. I want to order a gasket, a seal, a bolt, or a component for a tank, my tank in particular, and the delivery date on the equipment status report is just gonna say estimated time 2024, and I'm like, what the hell? Real issues that real armies have.
The
Money
T-14
isn't
Armata can be
free,
accurately
and
described
parts
as the
aren't cheap.
first true Russian tank to land a contract for production, as it is the first tank design to do so that came after the fall of the Soviet Union. Design work
That's
for it
interesting.
began in 2010 at Uralvagonzavod, which also designed the T-55, T-62, T-72, and T-90 tanks. Russian tanks used to rely on high-tech foreign components in some subsystems. Now the entire information management suite, hardware and software, is all domestically produced.
Might be good
The
and
tank
bad at the
measures
same time.
10.8 meters long, 3.5 meters wide, and 3.3 meters high, and has a combat weight of
Very
48
small.
tons. The T-14 Armata
Makes
is based on a
sense, size.
modular combat platform, which can also serve as a basis for other armored variants, such as a heavy infantry fighter vehicle, IFV, and armored personnel carrier, APC.
I have heard about this actually, and this is one of the things that I think is honestly the future. Not in the sense of the tank's design overall, but being very modular. It looks like no matter what we do in the future moving forward as a military, modularity is like going to be the overall winner because it allows you to adapt to every terrain situation, conflict, right? Hence why for people who I'm sure some of you guys watching might have your own gear of your own, and it's just you know what I mean when I'm talking about modularity. It's just infinitely better. When it comes to vehicles, like the biggest problem I see is that everything is different in the American Army. Like we have the 113, we have the Bradley, we have the Stryker, we have the Abrams, we have the light tank coming out pretty soon. We have the Stryker MGS, we have the Humvee, we have the MATVs, the JLTVs, the LMTVs. There's just so many different vehicles that honestly, I know it's not good to have a one size fits all approach to this, but it does make sense to have a one size fits most approach, where the chassis of an Abrams can be gutted out and become the chassis of, say, a Bradley fighting vehicle. No turret, make the armor different, and we know what this allows us to do: have a commonality in parts and components. So I'm not waiting 4 years for a part to arrive from the factory in Ohio or wherever it comes from. I don't even know. So commonality is a huge thing. Like, for example, the 113's replacement, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's basically a Bradley without a turret, like it should have been in the first place. Look at that. We're going back in time over here. If you guys know what I'm talking about, well, look it up. The Bradley's replacement is basically, sorry, the 113's replacement is basically a Bradley without a turret, like the Bradley was intended to be originally. If you haven't seen the movie The Pentagon Wars, I highly recommend you do so. So that one's gonna have a commonality between the Bradley now. That replacement vehicle, I guarantee, will never have issues with part shortages. And if there are, at least when they make new parts, they can be shared across the entire force. That's what I wish we could see with the Abrams. Just have a solid chassis that everybody uses, so we have the same parts everywhere, and there's no mix and match of parts.
The
So I'll give
hull
them
is
props for
divided
that.
into 3 compartments: a crew cab at forward, an unmanned remote-controlled turret in the center, and a power pack at the rear. The driver sits on the left, gunner in the middle, and commander on the right inside a special armored capsule. Entry and
Kinda reminds me
exit
of
are
the A-10
provided through
concept.
3 hatches in front of the hull. The roof of the turret houses a meteorological mast, satellite communications, global navigation satellite system, data link, and radio communications antennae. Talking about the T-14's engine, the tank is powered by an A85-.
That's that's why I hate watching these videos. It has a data link, guys. They have cables connecting everything together.
3 turbocharged diesel engine capable of
I swear to
1500
God.
horsepower coupled to a 12-speed
Yeah,
automatic
that's impressive.
transmission. A85-3 is a turbo piston diesel engine, sometimes named 2A12.
I have 1500 horsepower, but is it reliable? Question of the
A85-3A
hour.
engine is used on an Armata universal platform. The development of the engine was engaged in the Chelyabinsk Transdiesel Design Bureau. It was produced on the Chelyabinsk tractor plant. There is information that the Armata would also have electric transmission to reduce the weight of the vehicle and increase the use of add-on armor. The suspension consists on each side of 7 dual rubber-tired road wheels. The T-14 Armata can run at a maximum road speed of 80 to 90 kilometers per hour with a maximum cruising range of 500 kilometers.
I'm too American for these numbers, and I have to look it up to figure out what they mean. But I think roughly, what, 40, 50 miles per hour, give or take? And roughly 300 miles of range, 250 miles of range, maybe?
All Russian tanks have only 6 road wheels, but the suspension of the T-14 Armata on each side consists of 7 road wheels with the idler at the front, drive sprocket at the rear. The high-powered diesel engine and transmission constitutes a single unit that ensures high maneuverability. The active suspension improves the tank's sway resistance on rugged terrain, thus enhancing the target lock time and fire accuracy. Now let's take a look at T-14 Armata's design. The tank is designed around the unmanned turret, which makes it unlike any other main battle tank MBT in service and gives it a unique set of advantages and disadvantages. The T-14
Now, earlier he was referring to his active swaying suspension. I'm not sure if he's referring to a torsion bar suspension like every other tank in the world has, or if they were actually referring to the hydraulic suspension where it's very complicated to maintain. They did not specify.
Armata is armed with a 2A82-1M smoothbore gun. Since it employs an automatic loader, the T-14 needs no gunner, 57mm grenade launcher, and a 12.
Let me rewind that.
The T-14 needs no gunner.
The T-14 needs no gunner. What?
Since it employs an automatic loader, the T-14 needs no gunner.
You know, it's funny you say that because I have seen videos of them actually test firing their vehicle, and they do have a gunner inside the turret, or not the turret, inside their compartment. What crack are you smoking? Now I feel like I can't trust the rest of this video that I'm watching. This is stupid. All right, I'll leave it at this. If you guys have, I'll give you guys my thoughts. I guess T-14 is an interesting vehicle. It's very interesting, and the Americans tried this a while back ago, with their testbed concept vehicle. And it didn't work out well for multiple reasons. Granted, back then the technology was a bit older, and this is more modern. We have a lot of advantages it didn't have back then. But this design is not something that's brand new. The biggest disadvantage I can think of as a tank commander myself, I have no view of the surrounding terrain. You have cameras, but you only have the ones that they give you. I guarantee those cameras are fixed, and you probably can't move them around with a remote control joystick because that would be too smart. I didn't see a mention of that, but then again, the guy says this thing has no gunner, and I don't believe that crap. That makes no damn sense. It has no loader though. So, what was I gonna say? Everybody being in the hull of the vehicle means that the TC can't really see, and I've seen plenty of examples and seen it even in my own company where a tank slid off a hill, fell off a cliff, um, and people got either hurt or very, very, I don't know, mentally scarred. I guess I could say is the best way to put it. Because you can't see what you're doing. Like you're gonna, especially at nighttime operations, which is when a lot of movements happen. Because go figure, tanks are huge and loud and noisy, so the best time to move them is at night. So a lot of night operations are usually when the most accidents happen. I myself found myself climbing the side of a mountain by accident because I got disoriented, and it ended up being a very steep slope, um, with cliffs all around on the other side, and I couldn't back out. That was a scary situation to be in, and even then, I was out able to see and walk around and get out of the ground. I feel like trying to get in and out of that damn tank, as small as it is, just to look behind me, to look to my left, look to my right with a camera at nighttime would be a pain. That's the other problem now is cameras. Unless these things are behind bulletproof glass, and even if they are, they're kind of useless. Because one of my own personal strategies I ever thought about if we ever went to war with Russia was if I see a damn armada within like, and I can't accurately, effectively engage it, I would have infantry support or infantry guys, or you know what? Let me rewind it because I sound like an idiot already. I would hope that the infantry who is supporting us would get their machine guns out and start unloading bullets into the front of that tank because one of them is going to ricochet and hit that glass and shatter it. And good luck trying to see out of a camera without any glass. If I run out of ammo on my tank, because we only have 42 rounds or whatever, however many we're carrying at the time, because nobody loads the whole ammo storage for some reason, I would coax the vehicle because they have cameras. And again, the same could be said for us. We have thermal sights and whatnot, but at least our auxiliary sight is protected by being a very tiny hole about this big. Good luck hitting that. So I don't know. That's like the only defense I could think of that anybody who has a gun can blind them because they're a camera-based tank. Yeah, you might not be able to kill the crew or whatnot, but mm, I give them props for having the crew in a set of compartment like the A-10 because that's obviously a lot safer than being all over the place. There's been a lot of examples in the Iraq War where an RPG-29 would penetrate like the gap between the turret and the hull. I forget the name of that plate. It's called. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That weird gap in between, and it might like blow off a gunner's leg or a TC's leg, and or wound them or kill them. It's one of those things that they don't have to worry about if they just super armor that compartment. The rest of the tank can kind of be throw awayable. You can dispose of it a lot easier as long as the crew survives, which is a different change of mentality for the Russians, all things considered. Considering they like to make frying pans that explode for a living, this is a welcome change of pace. So, if you guys have any comments, suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. Hopefully, if you guys can find a better video than this one, please send it. Because this one obviously is awful. This guy does not know what he's talking about, and I'm not gonna waste y'all's time. Have a good one.